Rather broader, we can start with, you're one of the, well, you are the newest member of the group, aren't you?
That's right,
How long
yeah.
have you been with them?
Since the end of July of '74.
July 74?
Yeah.
Because last January the boys were out here before and
Yeah.
you went with them then.
That's true.
So you've replaced Christy in a sense?
Well, in a sense, yes. In a sense, no, because I was there. There was an overlap period where he was there 2 months after I joined, and then he left. So it wasn't exactly a sort of a replacement.
Yeah. But you haven't actually taken his place in the group?
No.
But John appears to have done that?
No, he took the place of Donal Lunny.
Yeah.
Who left just before the last German tour. Well, it's difficult to say who's taking whose place because, I mean, I don't do the same thing that Christy does.
No, quite. This is what I meant. That John.
Yeah, well, he
more.
yeah.
The stuff that Christy used to.
Yeah. Well, he does some of the. Yeah, he does some of Christy's songs, but then he does a lot of songs of his own, and then Christy didn't play the bouzouki, for example, which Johnny does. Although last night, because he broke his bouzouki, he was playing another instrument. Yeah.
What were you doing before you joined Planxty?
I was in America playing with a group called the Johnstons.
Yeah.
And I was there for 2 years, and I played on my own then for a while. Did some solo work in America on the East Coast, like New York, Boston, around there. And I came back from the United States specifically to join Planxty.
Really?
Yeah. Because I got a letter just asking would I join, and I was very delighted to.
What's the attraction of an Irish folk group for somebody who's actually in the States, in the middle of all the happenings over there? You know, what has Planxty got?
Well, in the first place, I knew all the members of Planxty from way back because I used to play with them in Dublin, and I knew all their music, and Planxty was something that the records that they've made I really liked, and it was something that I would have loved to have done, and when I got the opportunity I just did it. What the attraction is, well, I mean, I just like it, you know.
It can't be as lucrative as playing in the States, surely.
It's frankly more lucrative.
Is it really?
Yeah, but that again is not the reason. You can make a lot of money in the States, but then you can be also very poor.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. You're not very successful.
That's true.
Now, you play guitar and
whistle and bouzouki and most stringed instruments I play.
Where did you learn?
I learned in Ireland when I was young, and I was playing guitar from about the age of 11 until I went to Dublin. I went to university there and learned. I started getting interested in Irish music, and then started to play things like mandolins and bouzouki's and penny whistles and things then.
You're obviously influenced by somebody in the guitar field.
Well, I've had lots of influences in the guitar field. I started off playing rock and roll on the guitar, and I was very fond of Chuck Berry and people like that. And but as far as the music I play, the Irish music I play on the guitar, I'm not really influenced by anybody because nobody plays
your style, no, but you have some kind of drive in your guitar work which is not evident in the other boys in the group.
Well, that I suppose becomes from playing rock and roll. I don't know.
That's purely from your rock days.
I presume so, but then again, I feel that in the music there's lots of drive in the music, and it's only a question of bringing it out. You know.
Why did Planxty take most of the material from the 18th and 19th centuries? The bulk of it, anyway.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That's a very difficult question to answer. There's something basic in those songs, some basic emotion in those songs, which appeals to us all as four people. It's some kind of honesty, or very root level honesty in the songs, I suppose.
Yeah.
And the music, I mean, it's the music is still played in Ireland right now, as you know.
Sure.
So therefore, it's not necessarily a question of being antique or anything, you know.
No, very few other groups really go back quite as far as you do.
Yeah, well, you mean like in the sense that, like,
Well, nobody
other
goes
Irish.
back to Carolyn.
Well, quite a few groups in Ireland do now. Carolyn is sort of a composer who was basically forgotten for years in Ireland and is enjoying rejuvenation or sort of a rebirth of his popularity at the moment. Since that was started by, I suppose, a man called Sean O'Reilly, who's an Irish composer who died recently, and he started off a lot of the concept of arranging the music as opposed to just 4 or 5 musicians sitting down and all playing the same thing like in a Cayley band.
Yeah.
Like, he started off arranging things, like, you know, still keeping in touch with the traditional element of the music, not like prettying it up or painting it over, like, to make it accessible to other people, but sort of just the idea where not everybody played all the same thing all the time. And that germ, that idea sort of blossomed in Ireland, and a lot of people started doing different things, and I suppose Planxty is doing that sort of thing now.
Who does the Planxty arrangements?
We all do our own sort of added bits to the song, and it's more or less a joint effort.
I see. Now, since the last tour, there's been a change in the presentation. A lot of the material has been dropped, and a lot of the individual things have been changed considerably. Like Liam, for example, doesn't play the uilleann pipes quite as much
in the group.
In the group as he did before. Is there a particular reason for this?
No, I wasn't aware of that. Of course, then I wasn't on the last tour. Well, I don't know, this is in a sense why we like to do solo spots for the first half, because it lets every member of the group do his own thing, and then when we come together, you mightn't have as much of each member's contribution in a song, for example. I don't quite know why it's happened that way. I think it's probably by accident more than by design.
Oh, I see.
You know.
Compositions, you do feature your own compositions. Well, you feature Andy's.
Yeah, well,
so, do you do any composing?
well, I did a lot of composing in America, but it was songs in a different vein. They weren't, I wouldn't say, they weren't like in a folk idiom. They were closer to sort of contemporary folk.
Yeah,
like
John Denver.
So, well, I suppose if you want to put a tag on it, that's probably would be sufficient. But I haven't written anything since I've come back from America, because I don't know why. I suppose I'll start soon.
Do Planxty do much of the material at all? Not very often.
No, not a lot. No.
Are you likely to in the future?
We are likely to. We're always likely to do a few things that we write. Yes. Andy's the only one who writes. He's writing at the moment. But I'm sure we'll all do a bit before long. We don't particularly feel that as a policy we should sing songs that we write ourselves. Like, I mean, for example, if Andy just writes a song and we all like it, well then we say, well, let's do it. That's not, we don't feel we have to have like contemporary songs in the act. We just do songs that appeal to us. That's why a lot of people ask us, why don't you do political songs? Why don't you do contemporary songs? Why don't you write songs? We don't have any policy in the group of either one thing or another. If there's a political song which we like musically, well then we'll sing it, but not because it's a political song, just because it's a good song. And the same thing, we'll sing a song that Andy writes, not because he wrote it, but just because it's a good song. So anything we do is just because we like to do it, not because it's a certain bag.
You've reached the top in Ireland. You've become very well accepted in England, and obviously quite popular on the continent without ever achieving the height. What's the next mountain for Planxty to climb?
I suppose the United States. Funny enough, Planxty is a very strange. It's very strange for a group that's never been to the States. Within the folk world in the States, Planxty is kind of got a kind of a cult following at the moment. They've even got like in a record store in Boston, for example, they would have a Planxty section, especially for Planxty records. Like, and I mean, everybody wants the group to come to America, because I was there, and like everybody's talking about the group there, and it seems to be the next logical step to go there.
So you're kind of an underground cult at the moment.
I would say there, yes, that but we're certainly not unknown in America, by no means. I think we could afford to go there next autumn, maybe, perhaps, and do a tour.
You've got no specific plans at the moment?
No, none, not at the moment. We've got quite a lot lined up on the continent.
And then you've got a British tour coming up?
Yeah, we're going to Belgium next, and then France, and then we're going to England for... we're going to England on the 16th of February until about the 4th of March.
Do you know any of the dates you're playing?
Yeah, well, we're playing them. The last tour we sort of did the medium-sized halls in all the major cities, and now we're doing the large ones. Like it's Manchester, Birmingham, Newcastle, London, Bristol, Leeds, Sheffield, Glasgow, you know, the major cities.
Any of our boys are playing home with you, obviously. To catch you then.
Well, it should be well publicised.
Good. Thank you very much indeed, Paul.
Thank you, Rick.
I'll just push the button.
You sure it didn't come?